we're good to go. Okay, so as usual, moving the joints first. Okay, starting from the neck. Okay, so we're just gonna tuck our chin in, okay, and kind of looking up. Okay, as you come up, see if you can also bring your head back a little bit. So you're not just looking up, you're actually pushing your head back and then tilting the chin upwards. Okay, and let's bend the upper chest slouch a little bit. Okay, and then back up. Kind of breathe out as you get smaller. Okay, you can suck your stomach in a little bit. Okay, and take a deep breath in as we expand the chest. Okay, maybe 2 more times. Okay, breathing out, breathing out. Okay, breathing in. And then one last time, breathing out. Okay, you can even tilt your pelvis up a little bit, so bring your belt line up. Okay, then try to bring your belt line down. And coming back down. Okay, tilting the head sideways. Okay, still moving our shoulders up and down. Actually, let's try a circle. So we're still tilting our head sideways, but let's do a shoulder circle at the same time, focusing on pulling backwards and downwards. You can also change directions. Come back to center, pause as long as you need to. Okay, and same thing on the side. So tilt your head and just do a shoulder roll. Just a couple of times in both directions. Okay, and now let's move the spine and kind of rotate a little bit. So let's try to tilt one shoulders back a little bit. Okay, and you can even try to exaggerate a little bit if you have no issues with your spine. If you do, then have to do it in a smaller circle, but if it's okay, see if you can do it in a bigger motion. Okay, and let's try to put our hands together a little bit as well. So we're gonna be doing this a little bit, but let's try to kind of break points of thumbs. So kind of similar motion, but we're just going to turn our entire forearm, turn our body a little bit, and just kind of rotate back and forth. Almost you can think of it as drawing like a kind of figure 8. But this, if you put your hands together, you just feel a little bit more of a stretch, maybe in your kind of hands or your wrists. Okay, and let's try to just bring our hands a little together. Okay, maybe just 5 times or so. Okay, just to stretch out the wrist a little bit. And you can even try to just bring your elbows a little bit together. Okay, and elbows to the side. Let's try to spread our hands, pulling our thumbs back. We take a breath in as we open up. Okay, and let's reach upwards. Deep breath in. Smaller motion first to start with. If you feel the shoulders feel okay, then see if you can reach a little higher up. If there's any pain, then just back off. Okay, reaching up, we're just going to press one hand up at a time. Stretching on the side of our trunk a little bit. Okay, and let's do a little more of the wrist. So we're gonna actually have the wrist kind of facing upwards first. Okay, and see if you can keep your wrist facing kind of relatively up. Okay, and just move from the wrist. So usually when we do this, our forearm actually moves as well. But let's try to just focus on the wrist a little bit more today. Maybe 3 to 5 times in one direction. Okay, and just the same thing in the other direction. Okay, same idea. So you can just have your wrist roughly facing up the ceiling, kind of anchor down a little bit so that we're only moving more of the hand, more of the wrist, and less of the forearm. Okay, and your goal is just not to go fast, but to draw bigger circles with your fingers. Okay, so see if you can reach a little further inwards, a little further up, a little forward to the side, and downwards. Okay, and just the same thing in the opposite direction. Okay, so same idea. See if you can just have your wrist facing down. Okay, so this should be a little bit easier. Okay, but see once again, see if you can draw bigger circles with your wrist facing downwards. Okay, just a couple of times in each direction. Okay, moving all our fingers. Okay, bend the ends of our fingers a little more, side to side, shake everything out. Okay, lower body, just our usual hip circles, relaxing the upper body. And just switch directions whenever you feel like it. Okay, a little bit of, so soften the knees a little bit. So small circles, moving your feet a little bit as well. You can see if you can just gently, very gently move your knees around a small circle. It doesn't have to be big, so don't try to cave it in, knees in too much. Okay, just small circles. Okay, let's try to do almost, not quite foot circles, but kind of a weight shift. So we're actually going to shift our weight towards the back. So I don't know what angle will be better, but see if you can shift your weight on different parts of your feet. So right now, all my weight is on the left side of both feet. My weight is going towards the heels. My weight is going towards this side. Try to see if you don't go too far, going up on my tiptoes even. Okay, so still a circle, but moving at different parts. So we went from hip to knee, now more so towards the foot, I guess. Okay, and you can change direction a couple of times. So a little more of a balance exercise, more of a foot movement exercise, I guess. Okay, and I guess we can go back to the ankles. So we can't exactly stand our ankles and move it around. So we're gonna lift one foot, see if you can balance, use a chair if you need to. Okay, once again, try to do big circles, not necessarily fast circles. And just the same thing on the other foot. Okay, so next one, back to the knee. I'm gonna grab a chair just to make it easier. Okay, we're lifting one leg up. Okay, see if you can draw circles. So today's theme with the lower body is just circles. Okay, see if you can stir something or stir water on, imagine a bathtub with your foot. Okay, but my knee is kind of roughly staying in the same place. Okay, so change the angle, just looks something like this. And switch sides whenever you feel like it. Okay, so once again, my knee stays in the same place. Okay, but I'm just trying to move my foot around once again, not necessarily fast, but if you can, see if you can make it move in a bigger circle. Okay, and same thing, just opposite direction. Okay, and lastly, let's just move our hips. Okay, so let's try to draw circles in different parts of the body. So we're gonna go forward first. Okay, we'll just draw circles, maybe 3 circles one direction. Okay, 3 circles the other direction. Okay, now circles straight out to the side. Okay, so make sure it's actually straight out to the side and not like, usually we might go a little more forward, but see if you can go straight out to the side. Okay, now let's try to go backwards, or draw circles behind us rather. Okay, 3 circles in one direction, again, and 3 circles in the opposite direction. Okay, and let's do the same thing on the other. Okay, so 3 segments, 3 quadrants, whatever you want to call it. Okay, but knee straight. Okay, but circle in front of us. 35 one direction, 35 opposite direction. Okay, now straight out to the side. So once again, make sure it's actually straight out to the side. So your foot should be in front of your body in the front and behind the body a little bit in the back. As you draw the circle, okay, both hips get a little tight probably. Okay, and then backwards behind us. Okay, I should have one more direction, so let's try going inwards a little bit. Be mindful of what your hips can do. If you have some hardware in place, just don't force anything. Same thing on the other leg. Okay, just going more inwards. 3 times or so, and then 3 times the opposite direction. Okay, and shake everything out. Okay, so let's go to our aerobic part. So today we are still going to use the towel. I'm going to start off with just elongating it. Yeah, if your towels are a little longer, that might be a little bit easier for 2 days because we're doing more circular patterns. So that might be easier if it's a little bit longer. Okay, but work with what we got. Okay, so let's start off simple. Let's just do like a cross shape. Okay, so just do it any fashion you like. But pay attention to, let's see, what is kind of moving the towel. So for example, right now, I'm kind of using a little bit of everything. So my feet are moving, my hands are moving, so they're all kind of swinging the towels around. Okay, so now if you're using the whole body, let's stop the lower body, okay, and let's just use the arm. So my lower body is still now, okay, but I'm using more of my arm muscles to swing the towel in like a cross shape pattern in front of me. Okay, and now let's do the opposite. Can we put our hands just in front of our body, so not moving it much? Okay, and can we just use our lower body to swing the towel? So my arms are kind of locked in place. You can think of it depending on how big your towel is. For me, I need to be a little further out, but my arms are kind of anchored to my trunk of my chest, and I'm using my lower body to swing the towel kind of in a cross shape pattern in front. Okay, so we're going to change it up a little bit. Okay, so let's maybe try to go a little faster. So right now, let's go back to using everything. So a little bit of arms, a little bit of legs. Okay, but let's try to go a little faster if you want. Okay, so still maintaining the pattern. I'm still using my arms, using my feet. I'm rotating through my hips a little bit to get the towel swinging. It is moving through air. Okay, now let's switch to just using arms. So the feet stays in place. You can even squat down a little bit. Okay, but I'm using more of my arms to swing the towel in this pattern again. Okay, so you can kind of squat down a little bit if you want. Okay, still trying to keep up that pace. Okay, and lastly, let's try to not move our shoulders as much, so our arm stays anchored. Okay, and just move it, power it through our lower body. So you're gonna turn, you wanna be turning, almost turn your feet. You might be dropping your shoulders a little bit. Okay, but still try to keep up the pace. Okay, so just be mindful of what we are using to move the towel. Okay, so now let's try to have it more relaxed. So the arms may separate a little bit more. Okay, can we kind of just relax the upper body a little bit? Okay, and can we just kind of bring the elbows a little bit high up as you swing the towel up forward, I guess, or hard to say which one is forward. But just kind of play around, see if you can almost trying to imagine you're trying to hit someone with the elbows of your elbows as you push it forward. Okay, so try to see if you can get your elbows a little high up. Once again, pay attention to if that bothers your shoulders. Okay, but we're just exploring different ways we can continue this pattern. Okay, so now can we just power with one hand? So right now my left hand is kind of close to the center of my chest, and I'm just swinging it more with my right arm. Okay, and just to even be more confusing, can we walk a little, take a couple of steps forward? Okay, and walk a couple of steps back. Okay, so I'm still powering the towel with mostly my right arm, but I'm also kind of coordinating the legs. Okay, and let's switch. Okay, so I'm not very good at this, so let's try. So I'm just the left arm, swing the towel. My right arm is kind of anchored to my chest. Okay, so one side can be harder, so usually depending on what-handed side you are. So probably the left side is harder for most people. Okay, and once again, see if you can coordinate a little bit of the legs. Okay, so still, can you walk forward and back? Okay, while you mostly swing the towel with your left hand. Okay, so now we're going to try to switch between the two. Okay, so let's try still maintain the pattern where we walk forward, walk back. Okay, so now we're going to try to switch between the two hands. So it's a little coordination. So this is kind of new for me as well. So hopefully I can get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to right hand, maybe 2 or 3 times. Okay, left hand. Oh. Okay, or you can do 1 round, left hand, switch, right arm, swinging it. Okay, going back. Okay, switching to the left hand, swinging the towel. Okay, if you want, you can even, I don't know if you can switch right to left quickly. I'm kind of exploring this as well, so maybe 2 times, and then switch, switch. Oh. Okay, once again, just explore, have fun, play around with it, see if you can switch between left and right hand. Okay, so just back to the pattern first. Okay, but now let's try to shift our weight side to side a little bit more. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit, instead of walking forward and back, we're going to turn our body. Okay, so we're going to take a step and just swing, move to the side, okay, and switch back to the front. Okay, and see if you can maintain this pattern. So once again, if you want to make this harder, you can always just go a little faster. Okay, or use a heavier towel even. Okay, but see if you can just coordinate with your lower body where you are swinging and then turn. Okay, so probably during a down swing, you're going to just take a step or pivot rather. Okay, and going back. Okay, so now let's just try to do let's try 20 seconds where we go a little faster. So 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so slow it down. Maybe we'll just march a little bit. Okay, so let's give our grip might be getting a little tight, so let's at least give one hand the rest of the time. So let's try to do kind of same thing. Okay, but let's just relax one hand a little bit. Okay, so we're just going to just use one hand. Okay, and we're just going to swing it, same pattern. Okay, but let's try to slow it down a little bit, but bigger motion. So with one hand, we have a little more range to work with. Okay, but still try to maybe move your entire body a little bit. Okay, let's give our other hand a rest. Okay, so switching the arms. Okay, and let's switch again. Okay, this time maybe starting to speed back up a little bit. I just have my hand up just so it's not going to get caught in the towel. So sometimes if we have it fun, it might hit ourselves. So sometimes it's just get out of the way. Okay, so swinging across. Okay, for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch hands. Get it out of the way. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, back to both hands. So it might take a second to find this. Okay, so slowing down a little bit. Okay, let's try to do a circular pattern in front now. So we are going to just swing in one direction like a propeller. You can still move your hands. So let's try, we're doing this. Let's just try to take a step, a couple of side shuffles. Okay, can we switch direction and which way the propeller is going? Okay, so maybe a little bit more engagement in the trunk, in the core area. Okay, switch again, direction. Okay, last one, switching. Okay, so now when I combine this pattern with the propellers. So what we're gonna do is that we'll just swing the cross in front and we check the time. Okay, we're about a minute left. So what we're gonna do is that we are gonna do this pattern while we're facing forward. When we switch, we're gonna switch to propellers. We're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to center. Kind of resting for maybe 5 seconds where we just do this cross pattern. Okay, and then we're gonna go towards the other way now. So we're gonna switch and go into propellers, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to the cross. Okay, let's do this for 2 more rounds per side. Okay, so if you want, let's speed up a little bit for the last 30 seconds or so, and then we'll switch to side propellers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, take a maybe 5 seconds rest, or active rest at least. In the middle, okay, and when you're ready, and propellers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to the middle. Okay, just one last round. Okay, so if your arms are high, always remember that you can move your lower body to throw the towel around. Okay, so last round per side. Okay, when it's take a step, spin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and last time, just in the opposite direction. And switch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and probably the most high might be grip, okay, depending on how slippery your towel is, or how thick your towel is. And that's for 10 minutes of aerobics. So once again, it probably doesn't, depending on how heavy your towel is or how fast you're going, it might not move your heart rate up too much. Okay, but it's kind of an alternative to walking sometimes, just for fun. Okay, so maybe while we're resting, let's grab our bands so that we can move on to the other parts, or the strengthening part at least. So a chair might can be helpful as well. So let's give our hands a bit of a rest first. I'm gonna do the lower body one first. So we're still gonna do one lower body, one upper body. We'll kind of combine the two together, okay, and then one balance type exercise. Okay, so today let's do a squat, but let's do a variation. So we're gonna do squat pulses, you can call it. Okay, so what we're gonna do is that you can have a chair behind, you can have a chair in front, up to you, whatever you need. Just a reminder, feet are a little bit wider than your hips. So my hips are roughly here, so it's a little bit wider than that. Toes pointing out slightly. I'm gonna stick your bum back as you squat there, and have your knees roughly over the middle of your feet. So usually when we squat up and down, we're just gonna go down and then come back up. Okay, but today we're gonna do kind of roughly, maybe a quarter way there. If you feel comfortable, you can go lower. Okay, so the lower you go is gonna be harder. But what we're gonna do is that we're gonna do kind of four pulses at the bottom and then stand back up. So it looks something like this. So we're gonna squat down, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, coming back up. Okay, so at the bottom, you can either hold it or you can just kind of a little bit bounce back and forth. Just imagine you have to bend and then someone to pass you something, but you're waiting for them, for example. So you have to kind of hold there for a little bit. Okay, so let's aim for about 10 times. Once again, if you want to stick your bum out so that you're using your hips, the lower you go, the harder it is. So it kind of adjust. So if you don't feel, your knees don't feel good, just go a little bit high up and then come back up. If your knees are fine, you can go quite low if you want to, up to you. Okay, but we're aiming for about, we're gonna do just to make it simple, we're gonna go down, do 5 pulses, and then come back up. Okay, and let's aim for roughly 10 times. Okay, so, but we'll see how we feel as we do this. Okay, so pushing a bum back. Okay, so pause at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and going back down, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have my hands in front, just as it's easier to balance for me that way. Okay, and 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure your feet are also flat on the ground. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you might start to feel a burning feeling in your quads or your top front of your thighs. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Okay, so I'm starting to feel it as well. And 10, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the idea is that compared to if you just go there and come back up, our muscles are working for longer, and that can help to kind of stimulate muscle growth as well. Okay, so next one, it probably is easy if you can tie a bit of a loop, just so, because the grip is probably tied from all the towel swinging, so it might be a little easier if we actually get a loop in. Doesn't have to be too small. Actually, might have tied it too tight. Okay, but just roughly, maybe even armpit width apart is fine. Ears distance is also fine. Of course, the smaller the circle, the harder it's going to be. We're going to do something similar, but what we're going to do is that we're going to pull the band apart, and we're just going to pulse it, just so it's try to yank it apart and come back. Okay, and the last one, we're just going to keep pulling apart and reach up and back down. Okay, so don't go up too high at the beginning. So just we're going to warm up our shoulders first. Okay, so you can even sit down for this. Your legs are a little tired. Okay, so we're just going to pull. We're going to hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, and pull it apart and up. 5, right back. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can completely rest in between. So actually let the ends come together. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. I probably tied the band a little too tight. My shoulders are starting to feel it already. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, once again, an actual number doesn't matter as much as how much effort you're putting in. So we want to work till you can only do about maybe 3 more repetitions. I think we're at, I'm going to call this 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I could probably only do one more. 9, 2, 3, 4, 5. My shoulders are a little more tired from all the snow shoveling, so I'm not going to push it too much. Okay, and let's the shoulders relax. Let's go to the balanced one first, just to give our arms a rest as well. So once again, have enough support around. So I'm going to grab my other chair. Okay, so today, since we did all the hip stuff in different quadrants or different areas, we're going to do something similar with the balance. So first thing first, let's check our balance, see how we're doing. Okay, so find out how much support you need to be able to balance kind of on one foot, maybe with a little bit of wobbling. So but something you can still kind of do. So if you find I cannot be hands free and legs up at the same time, see if you can maybe use hands, or maybe you can use one finger, two fingers, three fingers, one side only. Okay, play around, see how much support you need, or you even have the toes touching a little bit. Okay, so find how much support you need for today. Okay, and check the same thing on the other side as well. Okay, see how much support you need to have just a tiny bit of challenge, be able to hold for at least 10 seconds, but still manage. So what we're going to do today is that you might have to move the support away for a little bit, or at least give your one side a little more space. What we're going to do, we're just going to tap in different parts. So it's like, almost like a clock tap. So you can call it in French 12 o'clock. You reach forward, do a tap, come back. So it's not a step, okay? It's just a light touch, okay? And then back to setting on one leg, okay? And let's go to maybe we can call this 11 o'clock, tap, come back. Okay, maybe 9 o'clock or just straight out to the side, tap, come back. Okay, going kind of more diagonally backwards, tap, come back. Okay, going maybe straight back, just a light tap, come back. Actually, we forgot going further in. So if you feel comfortable, you can even tap more inwards and back, and also maybe more inwards but forward. So those might be more challenging. Okay, and shake it out. And we can repeat the same thing on the other side. So once again, find out how much support you need. Okay, and once again, I'm going to just tap forward. Oh, sorry, let's go maybe in a little bit. Straight forward. Okay, kind of balance. Find a balance again in the middle. Diagonally forward. To the side. Oh, my left leg today is not as good as my right. Okay, diagonally back. Oh, still got it. Okay, and back. Okay, and diagonally backwards. Yeah, so be careful. Just go find your own limit. Okay, so let's do one more time per side. And you can even play around with different patterns. So you can go forward. You can go kind of diagonals this way, diagonal the other way. Okay, so it could look something like tap forward, tap back. So being in motion might actually feel a little bit easier. So kind of play around. You can even do it kind of slowly. It's usually slow is actually harder because there's no momentum to kind of keep your balance really. Okay, and you can even go diagonal pattern. Okay, opposite diagonal. Okay, so this one might actually be hardest for me. Okay, and you can even do kind of horizontal, I guess you would call it, or side to side. Okay, and same thing on the other side when you are ready. Okay, so same idea. You can try fast, you can try slower, you can do very exaggerated movements, like big exaggerated movements if you want. Okay, just play around, explore what is hard for you, what is easy for you. Okay, so you can go fast if you want. I usually find fast is easier, or maybe not. Okay, and I guess it's different challenge, I guess. Okay, so and you can also go, once again, side to side. Okay, but most of the time you should still feel the standing leg being in one, or standing hip being in one that's being a little tight. Okay, so shake it out. And last one, the whole body one, what a combination one, I guess you call it, is that we're gonna combine the hand pulse with the kind of the pulse of the squat. So you're still gonna be, you can hold it or you can loop it around. So we're just gonna squat that, do pulses of the leg, pulses of the arms, and then when you step back up, you're just gonna reach up and come back down. Okay, so it looks something like this. Okay, so be going down, so 1, okay, and then just pause Arms and legs a little bit coordinated. 2, 3, 4. Okay, and reaching up. And then second one. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once again, you can rest the shoulders in between. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. My shoulders are definitely getting a little tired. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I might just limit how much I'm pulling the arms, or I can make it harder by just doing more. So I might lower the legs. So I might go 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm gonna be lazy and just go to my forehead. Okay, so kind of adjust. You can play, you don't have all upper and lower body, doesn't always have to do the same thing. I can call this 9, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and last one. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whew. And shaking it out. Okay, so let's take a little bit more of a rest. When you grab enough drinking water. And after that, after we feel okay, we're just going to repeat the same thing for all these exercises. Okay, so shoulders might be the one that's giving out the most. So I might choose to maybe make the band the loop a little bigger, just so I don't overwork the shoulders too much. For the legs, if you do want to make it more challenging, you can of course just get a weight of any kind, just so your legs can get a workout as well. So if it's very easy for you, maybe grab any sort of weight and just hold it in front of you, so it's more of a challenge. Okay, so when we're ready, once again, adjust the intensity to your own personal level. Okay, so for this one, my legs don't feel bad, but shoulders are the one getting tight, so I'm going to work my legs a little harder by going a little lower. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, if your knees bars you, don't go too low though. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. So everyone should kind of individualize or personalize how much they're working. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still mindful about pushing my butt back, so I'm not overloading just the front. I lost count. I'm gonna call this 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now my legs are starting to feel a little bit more. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even back of your bum might start to feel a little bit, depending on how you're doing it. 9, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and last one. 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Give everything a little bit of a rest. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to the back. So once again, because my shoulders are getting a little tired, instead of 5 pulses, I might only just do maybe 2, and then just reach up. Okay, so you can always change up how you do it. So once again, the actual number doesn't matter as much as the how you feel or how intense it feels for you. Okay, so shoulders, smaller muscles than the legs. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. Okay, feel free to still do 5 if you want to, or keep pulling harder if you want to. 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, 3. I should get this out of my way. The band is keeps it in my face. Okay, 6, 2, 3. Okay, 7, 2, 3. 8, 2, 3. 9, 2, 3. 10, 2, 3. So any through the shoulders, just take it a little bit. Don't push it to your limit. So leave some reserve just to protect our shoulders a little bit, or at least decrease the risk of us overdoing it. Okay, and back to the balance. So just usually we call this a clock tap. So because if you imagine a clock right underneath you, you're just tapping different parts of the clock. Okay, so once again, whatever you want to do to challenge, make it more challenging. So you can, if you want, you can play around with even your vision. So closing one eye might suddenly make it much more challenging. Then if you have both eyes open, both eyes closed, probably much harder. Okay, so in this case, I might choose to close my eyes, but use more of my other senses. So I might use my hand as more of a guidance. Okay, but once again, adjust your own level. Okay, but you can change it up in different ways, adjust the difficulty in different ways. But the idea, once again, we don't want to be just holding onto the chair and just tapping. Okay, we actually want to create that challenge on our body so that our body can adapt and improve. Okay, so play around, see what is difficult for you. Those are the things that you probably should work on a little bit more. The easy stuff, probably we do, it means that we do this, the easy stuff maybe in our daily lives already. Because so that's why it's easy. So find what is challenging for you. Okay, so I'm playing around with my vision a little bit, so closing my eyes, but touching more of the chair, my hands. Okay, so a lot of times we do use a lot of our vision for balance. So that's why it's, even this when it's dark, it might be harder to balance. If our eyes closed, it's harder to balance. Then we rely just on the sensation of our feet, maybe sensation of our hands, and also our ears to kind of find that balance. And our vision gets worse with age, so kind of one reason why we might fall more often as we get, or more likely to fall as we get older. Okay, last round is just a combination of the squatting and the pressing. Okay, so once again, adjust how you feel to the level of difficulty. Okay, as long as you can feel there's a little bit of an effort, that's fine. So don't worry about how many times you're doing it, how low you're actually going, what other people are doing. Just focus on how your body feels. Okay, so for me, I'm going to choose to go a little low with my legs, just because my legs still feel fine. Once again, I'm going to do less of the arms. So I might even just focus on squat. I'm not going to pull the arms. I'm just going to pull when I reach upwards. Okay, so I'm just going to do a single rep of the arms. Okay, so I'm just going to go 1, 2. So I'm not even pulling the arms right now. 3, 4, and then 5. As I set up, I'm going to pull the band apart and reach up. And so I'll get a little more rest in the arms. So balance between legs and arms a little bit more. Okay, and once again, don't go too high up if your shoulders balance you. 3, 2, 3, 4. Pulling upon the hands and reaching up. 5, 4, 2, 3, 4. And pull it apart. 5. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. If your knees start bothering you, once again, just adjust so don't go down too low. You want to push the butt back. Okay, so you can just do pulse up here. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. You even play around almost like elevators and go down, or very wonky elevators where you go slowly go up. 2, 3, 4, 5. So no one way to do things. It's more about just exploring our body. So 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so good job, everyone. So now we have about 7 minutes left. So we're just going to go to our usual stretches. Once again, just stretching out the muscles that we use. Starting off our most basic one, the shoulder one that we always do. Okay, reach across, forward your arms towards the body. Deep breath in and out. You can move around if you want to. Okay, hold it for kind of, since we're short on time, 15 to 30 seconds. If you have more time, you can hold on for longer. And switch whenever you feel like it. Okay, so for the quads, 2 variations. So if you're really tight, or your balance is not as good, just hook your leg onto a chair, holding a chair in front. Okay, but try to see if you can pull the front of your hands up. Okay, and then push the hips forward until you feel a little bit of a stretch in the front of your quads. If you're more flexible and your balance is fine, you can hold on to your ankles with your foot. But same thing, see if instead of doing this, so you can bring the front of your hips up, point your knees straight down, or you can push the hips forward. Once again, until you feel that stretch in the front of your upper leg. So just pay attention to, like what we're doing now, pay attention to which part of your body is moving. And for here, pay attention to which part of your body feels the stretch. Switch sides when you feel like it. So my right side feels a lot tighter than my left, so I probably should spend more time on this side. Okay, usual prayer stretch. So palms together, bring your hands in, or down rather. Shake things out. Our usual kind of figure 4 stretch. That's the one where you have one leg up and you're pulling your leg or your knee to the opposite shoulder while you're kind of leaning forward a little bit. Okay, while we're doing this, you can play around with moving your toes a little bit. And if your hips are completely fine, you can also lightly push down your knees a little bit. But as usual, if you feel cranking in your knee, don't overdo it. If you know you have hip changes, don't overdo it. Okay, and repeat on the other side. Just opening hip the other way. Okay, back to the chest. Hands behind the lower back. Pull the shoulders back. Deep breath in and out. You can still move other parts of your body while we're just spending more time in that position. Legs, one leg forward, sitting close to the edge of the chair, and then leaning forward until you feel a stretch behind the legs. Okay, while you're here, you can also just try to pull your toes a little closer for about maybe 5 times. And just switch whenever you're ready. So I'm just hanging out where I feel the stretch. And then maybe afterwards, maybe about 5 times, pull my toes towards my body, towards the ceiling. Okay, last one, just the top of the shoulders. So that's the one where you hold into the chair, lean away from it, use our other hand to help create more distance between our shoulders and your ears. You can spend, kind of look around, see where you feel the most tightness. Okay, and maybe just the last one on the other side. Okay, and just shake everything out. Okay, so right on time. Thank you for coming, everyone. See everyone next week. No problem. Bye.